Hello again, and another warm welcome to you. And here's responding to another question, which is how can we engage with a partner or other carer who finds it hard to support or listen? Now, I love this question. It's one that comes up quite often. And I'd say there are probably two main things I talk about. So the first thing, which if you've been watching my things for a while, you probably know I pretty much always say the same thing. The first thing is listening to our own feelings and needs first, and ideally having an outer loving crew member, so an empathy buddy or a counselor or therapist or someone that you work with, or your partner or a friend, someone, or your inner loving crew or your journal, who you can share all of the things that come up, or maybe not all, but as much as you are really able to do, about how it is for you. So particularly, if it's a partner or other carer for your child or children, and perhaps you see that they find it really hard if your child's crying or they're upset, and they, however that is for you, the more you can express to someone who's really able to hear you, that's the key, how you feel and what goes on for you and what are your thoughts, and someone who's really able to love you unconditionally with whatever is showing up for you. So you get to let it all out. It might be, I feel so frustrated, or, I feel really hurt, or, all the things that show up, not only for you in the here and now, but often what can also show up, which is the way our psyche works, to come up to be heard and healed, is our own memories from childhood when there were adults around, particularly adults who weren't able to listen to us or to support us when we were going through challenging times, or when we were upset, when we were having a tantrum, when we were acting in challenging ways because we were in pain. It can often really bring up those memories. So again, that's where we can have really big responses to, particularly if it's your partner and they're responding in ways that don't really meet your need for empathy for your child, or compassion or understanding, or any of those things. Not only is it really hard because, of course, you have a need, a here and now need. You want your child to receive empathy, to be understood, but it also can connect you with your inner children who also experienced not being heard, not being understood, not being listened to, not being given empathy when things were hard, when you were in pain. So the more you can get to express that to someone who can really hear that, whether it's an outer loving crew and inner loving crew, the more you're going to be able to engage with that person in a way that's helpful. Because if they're already finding it hard to listen, that generally means, and this is kind of moving to the second step, is really looking at, okay, why are they finding it hard to support or listen? So again, it's usually, three main reasons. I come back to these all the time. Either they need some more information. Hi again, Debbie. I'm catching up because I'm aiming to do one Facebook Live a day, and I missed out on three. So I'm going to be doing 4 today to make up for it. So so one of the 3 reasons, what's going on for them? So if you've got to express your feelings to someone who can hear, then you're going to be able to be much more likely to think clearly about what's going on for them, clearly and compassionately. Whereas if you've got big feelings here, those are likely to come out to the other person, and it's going to probably be really hard to feel into what's going on for them in a compassionate way. So it's really thinking 3 things. Do they lack information? Do they actually need some more information about how to support or listen, or why it's important to do that to a child, or they might be needing some information, or they might already have the information, but they've really got some unmet needs going on at the moment. So maybe they're feeling really stressed, or they're really not having enough. Whatever it is, million gazillion needs that I'm sure you can probably think of. Well, the third reason is, and this is often the reason, is that their own feelings are bubbling up. So again, when your child is doing a particular thing, it's reminding them often of their inner children and their past experiences. And the thing is, if this is an ongoing thing that's always the way it is, then it's probably not an unmet need. This is probably more about their past experiences. And the thing is, if we didn't ever, as children, experience our feelings, being heard with love and compassion, and being treated in these respectful ways, then it can be really, really hard to give that to our children. And that's why having other people here and now to listen to us, to really change those ways of being, so that we get to experience that from the outside, even though we didn't as children, that we get someone who's able to listen to us, who's able to be present with us when we're upset or frustrated or sad or joyful or ebullient or whatever it is. And then we internalize that. We have these wonderful mirror neurons, and we internalize that, and we then get to go, oh, I feel I can be with my sadness, and I can feel comfortable with that because I've had someone be with me in my sadness. Whereas if we've never had that, we've never experienced someone being able to be with us in a particular feeling, there's just no way we can do that for ourselves. We need to experience it from the outside first, so that we can do it for ourselves, so that we can be present with that feeling in our body, so that when our child's feeling that thing, we can then do it for them. We can be with that in them. We can say, oh, I hear that you're feeling sad. I'm right here, I'm listening. Yeah, I see you. You're really upset. Oh, you've got some really big feelings there. But we need to have received that first, to internalize that, to actually be able to be present with those feelings in our own body before we're able to listen to that and be with that in our child. And I think really remembering that, thank you for the love, really remembering that can be really helpful, because if we go in to that person with a kind of adversarial thing, it's really probably going to just actually, I want to do more of a heart thing, it's probably going to mean it's going to be harder for them to listen. Whereas really realizing, what can you do to help that person so they experience it themselves? What can you do? And this can be a big ask, but what can you do so that you can go in and listen compassionately to them and what's going on for them in those moments when they find it hard? Because what you're doing then is you're giving them that, you're giving them that empathy, you're showing them those mirror neurons. They might be feeling frustrated, and it's why I love for parenting, is it's just as relevant for adults, you know. So just like we're not wanting to go in with kind of punishment or harshness or judgment or shaming or blaming for our children, finding ways to do that with the other adults in our lives is the most helpful thing for them as well. So they get to go, oh, okay, they get to experience compassion and empathy for their feelings. So they start to be able to, oh gosh, she could be with me in my sadness, and oh gosh, I can be with a little bit more sadness, and oh, you know, yes, I feel more sad in some way, but I kind of feel relieved as well. And then they have that internal experience. You know, it's often so much in parenting, isn't it? We've had it from, we get the experience and we feel it, and then we go, oh, okay, well, I really want my child to feel that. And so I know what that's like now. I know how it is to be really heard. So I really want to give that to them. So really remembering that can be a really helpful thing, that yes, you know, we can have really big feelings about this, particularly if it's our own children and we want to protect them. And of course, there may be times where we need to get in and set loving limits, or, you know, really, we're our advocates for our children. So I really want to remind you that it's really important that we don't just let things happen to our children that are really, you know, that are really harmful for them. So loving limits can be really important. I'm not going to let you, well, I don't think it's very helpful. I'm really not willing for you to speak to them like that, or getting in with some attachment play. Okay, looks like things are heating up here. Often if it's with another adult, that can be a really great way. Okay, things are heating up here. Why don't we all go and jump on the trampoline and I don't know, swear or something, you know, finding a way to get in. And who I really love for this is Patch Adams. I don't know if you've ever seen him. You might have seen the movie. I've been to see him quite a few times in real life. So he's the one that dresses up in clown outfits and all kinds of things. And he told the story of how many times he sees things about to happen on the street. Someone's about to hit someone, or someone, you know, really severe things are about to happen. And he basically has this kit that he immediately puts on. One's like a pretend bogey, some teeth that look like just one tooth, and he has trousers that he pulls up, and basically within like 2 seconds, maybe a bit more, he becomes this clown and he goes in to these situations with fun. And yes, you know, there is always a risk, but it's going in, if you can, with fun and warmth and laughter and connection when people are in pain. You know, what he really illustrates is that can be a really powerful way to help people release the feelings that are bubbling up there in ways that are helpful rather than harmful. So that can be one way. So I really want to remind you, this isn't about, it obviously and clearly isn't about having your child repeatedly experience something that's painful or harsh for them, and doing whatever you can to be their advocate and to protect them and to set loving limits, or to get in with attachment play, or do whatever you need to do. But knowing that if this person is repeatedly caring for your child, if it's your partner or someone else, that really in the long run, helping them, being compassionate with them, even if it's really hard and you need to do lots of your own work to do that, is actually going to help them experience, internalize that, so they have more capacity to give that. So I wonder if there's anything else I want to say. So, you know, and that can be in all different ways. It also can be setting up, you know, maybe they get to go and see, maybe they get their own empathy buddy, or maybe they get to go and see a counselor or therapist, or maybe you set up regular present time with each other, you know, doing whatever you can so that they get to be more heard. And the more they have support and listening, the more they're going to be able to give it. It's basically what it comes down to. And the more they've experienced it on the inside, the more they're going to actually have that body experience of being able to give it. So it can really help. And we get to express all the judgments and all the things that come up with someone who can hear, so we can actually see behind the judgment. And it's generally not that people are not doing it deliberately. It's actually, you know, they need information, they've got unmet needs, or they're in pain themselves and they're really not able to, they don't really know how to yet. They need to experience it firsthand so they know how to give it. So hope this is helpful in some way. Thank you so much to the question asker, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. Bye for now.